Hey guys and gals, how you doing? I'm going to talk about something really awesome, an awesome documentary. If you grew up with Dungeons and Dragons, especially just looking at the artwork alone, this documentary is definitely for you. And I didn't know about it until I saw it on Roku, which had it on one of their Roku channels, and it's called Eye of the Beholder: The Art of Dungeons and Dragons, and it's pretty much what it says. It's pretty much showcasing the art of the Dungeons and Dragons cover, the artwork, the pictures, and it goes to a timeline of all the different artists, that work on the Dungeons and Dragons art and their style and how they came into the business of Dungeons and Dragons, how they got hired, and there's a lot of interviews, pretty much with the artists mostly, and the time frame that they were there. And this is so cool because I love Dungeons and Dragons artwork. I love the style, especially I'm a fan of Sword and Sorcery fantasy stuff. So this is like right up my alley. And you remember like collecting comic books, you always see like the Dungeons and Dragons artwork as the advertisement of Forgotten Realms, for example. I mean, it was like we grew up around. If you were like me, grew up like in the late '70s or early '80s. I mean, and the '80s and so on. Like especially in the '80s, like what I'm talking about. So the Dungeons and Dragons art has a big influence on me, on how I draw, or what inspired me, and like talking about reviewing movies or watching horror and fantasy movies and science fiction and so on. I mean, Dungeons and Dragons is part of my childhood, man. It just, and I'm gonna be honest, I never played the board game. I never played the game Dungeons and Dragons, but I just look at the artwork of Dungeons and Dragons. So either way, Dungeons and Dragons influenced everybody pretty much in some way or form. Um, I definitely highly recommend this documentary. I say you definitely have to see this. I recommend it all the way through, and this is a must see. And I think that there was another documentary. Since I'm talking about the art of Dungeons and Dragons, you ever remember the heavy metal magazines with the sexy girls in the front cover? I think there was a documentary on that also, but I will have to find out because I remember seeing something like that about the heavy metal artist, who did the magazine cover artwork for that. But I never had a chance to review that documentary, so I will definitely download and check that one. We review that. I'm not review to we check that documentary out down the road. I have to look for it. But this Dungeons Dragon documentary, all the way, you will not be disappointed. Peace out and see you later, guys and gals.